The Meat Lab.
Can eat in here.
Yes.
But I don't see any animals and I don't see any animal parts.
Well, that's the trick, right?
These are the tissue production cultivators. We invented this sort of technology in order to grow tissue.
Is it safe?
Absolutely.
To make a delectable lab-grown meat nugget, you'll need a few very special ingredients. Number 1, growth factors. Things like sugar, amino acids, vitamins, and trace elements to give the meat everything it needs to grow. And you'll, of course, extract these factors from the cheapest food imaginable, soy.
And so they're going to need things like soybean hydrosylate to provide amino acids. And where do we get soybean hydrosylate from? Well, you get it from soybeans. And how do you get soybeans? Well, you plant these giant monocrops. And what happens when you plant giant monocrops? Well, you decimate the whole ecosystem.
But the problem with soy is that it has more estrogen than any other bean in existence. No, seriously, 1 cup of soybeans has the equivalent amount of estrogen as 20,000 cups of chickpeas. If you don't know, estrogen is to females what testosterone is to males. Estrogen is what makes women, women. But when estrogen levels become too high, especially in males, it can lead to a whole lot of problems like infertility, low testosterone, slow growth, shrinking muscle mass, and weight gain. So yep, let's shove it into our lab-grown meat. And once your delicious soy plasma is complete, you'll need to add in your animal cells. Because remember, the goal here is to grow edible meat from just a few animal cells. But you can't just use any old regular cells from a chicken or a cow or whatever. That's because regular cells from a piece of animal meat, for example, just simply don't grow fast enough. Regular animal cells only multiply a few dozen times. So yeah, you're never gonna get your lab-grown meat factory going with cells like that. You need a type of cell that will grow to infinity super fast. And you want to know what cells multiply super fast? Cancer cells. Think about it. Tumors grow fast and get out of control, which is why cancer is so scary. But that also makes cancer cells the perfect catalyst for lab-grown meat. But obviously you're not going to call them cancer cells because branding. Hello? Cancer has a bad ring to it. If people knew that the reason you can grow monstrous masses of meat so quickly was because you were using cancer cells, they would chuck their lab-grown meat right into the toilet. So you call them immortalized cells instead. Immortalized cells are defined as either tumorous cells that do not stop dividing or cells that have been artificially manipulated to proliferate indefinitely and can thus be cultured over several generations. These cells are immortal because they multiply infinitely, like a tumor. And immortalized cells sounds much better. And when the media questions you about these immortalized cells, you tell them that, hey, scientists have been using these for decades, it's old technology. And don't worry, cancerous animal cells are completely safe, even though there are actual laws against selling cancerous meat in the US because of how dangerous it is. In an article titled, "Are Things Like Cancerous Tumors Allowed by Meat Inspection?" by Michigan State University, cancerous lesions or tumors are not allowed to enter commerce or the food chain. If laboratory results indicate the presence of cancer within the carcass will be marked, US inspected, and condemned. Once a carcass is condemned, it is denatured and disposed of so it cannot enter the food chain. But lab-grown meat, you get a free pass. Even though the industry doesn't have the decades of data to prove that cultured meat products won't give you cancer. And when the media comes knocking on your door for answers, you just respond with, no comment.